Welcome to EveryTing Irie TV UK Drummers Special Edition. And this is season 1. On this podcast, we will be talking to drummers who have made an impact in gospel and secular. Some have played for world-renowned artists. Some are even artists themselves. Today, I have a legend. He has been in the game for a while. He's played for the likes of Blue, Pixie Lott, Kelly Rowland, Jasmine Sullivan, The Saturdays, Lamar, Alicia Dixon, just to name a few. Please welcome my guest, the legendary Gareth Brown in the building. What's going on, man? How are you?
Yeah, bro, I'm blessed to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Nah, it is a privilege to have you. And you've been in this game a while, and it's about time someone gave you your flowers, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of, there's a lot of things you've done behind the scenes for people that people don't know. But you don't make a big hoo-ha out of it. You just, here you go, and keep it moving. You know what I mean? And so, no, thank you for everything you've done for the UK drumming scene, in the music scene. So big shout outs to you, man.
Blessings to you, my brother.
Yeah, man. So I want to get into your journey, how you began. So how did you get into drumming? What was it about drumming that you were like, you know what, I want to do that? Did you grow up in a musical household or?
So yeah, I grew up in a musical household. My dad plays the guitar.
Yeah.
And a lot of my aunts were influential in music. My auntie Charmaine, she was a big hand in getting me into music and pushing my career. There was a local church band to me, where I'm from in Birmingham. Aberdeen Street, big up Aberdeen Street crew. Yeah. Clive Anderson, the keyboard player, house keyboard player at the time, he had a band called Clive & Co., which was the band. All the greatest singers from the church and greatest musicians. And my aunt pushed me to be on that stage. So that's a big shout out to my auntie Charmaine. But how it started, I started off on keys.
Oh, you're a keyboard guy, okay.
I started off on keys because I love harmony. Yeah. And my cousin, Howard Smith, me, him, and his brother, Darren, we had a band. Howard was playing drums, Darren was playing bass, I was playing keys. And I was like, you know what, that's just way cooler. Yeah. And just switched.
How old were you at that time?
I would say 9.
Okay.
9.
Right, yeah.
9.
Because I do find that with kids, because the drum kit is the biggest instrument there. It looks cool. It's like, yeah, I want to do the drums.
It's so expressive. So, you know, you get your, it's a workout as well. I mean, some of the shows, if you're playing hard music for a long time, it's also a workout.
Stamina.
There you go.
Trust me. So was there any local musicians that you looked up to or any local drummers that you played with?
Absolutely. In Birmingham, though, I had a great choice of fantastic drummers and musicians. To mention some, Ray Prince, one of the best feels. I mean, I'd put his feel up there with Omar Hakim. Like, he's got a great feel. I had technicians like Bunny Dryden around. And then I had great song players like Vindell, Watson, Donovan Hepburn.
Yes.
Another great, fantastic player. Leon Small, Julian Chambers. So yeah, I had a great impact of drumming influences in Birmingham alone. And then, you know, to expand out to London, when I started coming down, it was something different, yeah.
Wow, because I'm going to talk about how we first met. So the first time I came across you, actually, it was the Spanky and Ronald Bruner shed.
Right.
And I was leaving and I saw a lot of people crowding around you. She was like, oh my gosh, you're Gareth Brown. I was like, okay, this guy. Then someone posted a clip of that moment where people were gathering around you saying, oh my gosh, oh, Gareth. Now, I didn't want to assume he was a drummer because at that shed, there was bass players, there was keyboard players, there was singers there. So
that was crazy.
I was like, and at that time, I didn't really know much drummers. The only drummers that I knew at the time, because I was in the first year of college.
Right.
Facebook has been around at that time, maybe 3-4 years.
Okay.
So the only drummers that I knew that were on the scene was Breakbeat, Jerry Brown, and Ginger.
Right.
at the time. So I was, my knowledge was quite limited. So I didn't know who anyone was. So I saw this clip of the exact moment when everyone was crowding you. I was like, who's that? So I've done my research. I was like, who's this Gareth guy? And when I saw the amount of things you've done, I was like, oh, this guy he's been around. And then I clocked the sign name. And I can't lie, I was like, hold on. Jerry Brown is doing lots of big gigs. Julian Brown, Gareth Brown. No, this game's rigged. This is rigged. All you Browns are looking out for each other. I was like, I ain't got a shot, I ain't got no chance. I've come to realise, you know what? Rhyme is a popular name. For some reason, I assumed all you lot were related and you just passing the gigs to each other. You know what I mean?
I wish it was the case. I mean, what fantastic drummers.
No, of course.
Jerry, what an amazing feel. What a great guy also.
Yeah.
And Julian, man, out there killing it, doing his thing, you know. So happy to share the
happy to share the name.
Happy to share the name.
So my question is, so what was your first professional gig? How did that come about? How was you feeling at that moment when you got the first call to do your first professional gig?
Okay, so I guess there's 2 stages of the professional gig. My first professional gig was with a band called 9 Yards, signed to Virgin. I did an audition, super nervous, came down to London from Birmingham. I was staying with my aunt at the time, who had a place in London. And went to this audition, did my thing. And I'm like, okay, wait here. Call me back in the room. Okay, you got the gig. I'm like, what? I got the gig.
Must be excited, man.
Bro, I could not believe it. And they saw the excitement. And they were like, well, what are you going to do now? I'm like, well, I don't know, go back to my aunt's house and, I don't know, celebrate or whatever.
What were you at that time? That remember asking?
I was 19, I believe.
Okay.
19, I believe, yeah, because I went to college. My parents were fully behind what I wanted to do.
Oh, that's good. You don't get that often.
You don't always get that often. But they were fully behind. But they were like, before you do that, maybe you should do something else, just in
case, of course.
And so I went to college and I did computer studies and physics and maths and, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's why, and then after that, I was like, music. So at 19, at 18, I kind of started coming down to London, trying to work out the scene, going to jam sessions, open mics, meeting as many people as I could, and got this 9 Yards audition, got the gig, and they were like, well, what are you going to do now? I'm like, well, probably just go home. And they're like, well, do you want to come with us? We're going to a party. I'm like, absolutely, let's go. Let's go. And that built the relationship, and I still speak to one of the guys, you know, last week I was speaking to him, Wayne Beckford, producer, artist himself. So yeah.
So was there a moment, or was it from that gig where you were like, you know what, I can actually do this full time? Because there's some people that they may do a big gig, but afterwards they'll go back to doing their normal like 9 to 5 or their side job. Was it from this gig that you were like, I can actually make a living out of this? Now, this is before social media, you know what I mean? Was it that moment? Was it that gig that you're like, I can do this too, full time? I don't have to work, no retail, I don't have to do no other job. I can do this music thing.
So I think I was manifesting this music thing from a long time before, because, I mean, I'll give you a story of how I got my first endorsement before I even got this gig.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So at 16 years old, I was like, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm going to be a musician. I'm going to be a touring musician. This is what I'm doing. So I sent an email basically to all the big drum companies, cymbals and, you know, drums. My name's Gareth Brown. I'm nobody right now, but I'm going to be somebody.
You didn't put that, did you?
Absolutely. And sent it out to everybody. Sent it out to everybody. Sabian got back to me. Jerome, shout out to Jerome. Sabian got back to me. Premier got back to me. Arbiter got back to me. I ended up going with Arbiter and Sabian. You don't even know Arbiter. Arbiter, they had this special kit where they had like a clamping system. Instead of lugs around the rim. They had like a clamping system with one key. So you could tune your drum like with one key from one, because the clamping system would go tighter as you tightened it and looser as you loosened it. And
They need to make that now. Life would be easier if they had that, you know what I mean?
bro, I'll tell you the story of how I had switched from Arbiter. But yeah, so Sabin got back to me. So I ended up being with Sabin for 20 years. 20 years I was with Sabin. And it all started from that email. So back to your question, I already knew I was going to be a musician. I already knew this was my path. I already knew. Yes, I was excited with the things that happened on the path, like getting my first gig, like getting my first arena tour, like getting my first TV show. But I already knew it was going to happen.
Because it's different now on social media. You see everyone doing it. But obviously, you coming from a time before social media. So
Yeah.
how did you know, like, I can actually do this full time? Was it from seeing others?
I think from seeing others for sure.
Yeah.
But I just think it was in me. Like, I was doing the Birmingham scene, more of a jazzy scene, because there's not really a pop scene in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And I just like, there's more. There's more. I need to be in London. There's more gigs, there's more, the big TV shows, the big gigs, all the big managements, they're in London. I need to be there. And yeah, people like Velroy, Andrew Small, Jerry, seeing those guys out there was definitely, if they can do it, I can do it. But even without their help and their visuals, I was visualizing being on those stages.
I've got a question for you. So for the younger viewers, obviously a lot of them obviously practice to YouTube, you know, whether it's tutorials, shed tracks to metronomes. Now, you didn't have that growing up. So my question is for you, especially for the younger viewers watching, what was your practice like? Like, because you had no YouTube, you had no social media. So what was it like? What was your practice like?
My practice was a lot with my ears.
Yes.
Listening to songs, listening to the formation of songs, the dynamics of songs, how songs are built. I mentioned before I love harmony, so it wasn't just the drums I was listening to. I was listening to the whole song and how the drums fit into that. So when it came to practicing, it was, you know, practicing to songs.
Yeah.
It was, sure, doing the rudiments and trying to work on my hands and what's comfortable for me, snare up, snare down, sitting high, sitting low. But once those things had been established, it was the song playing that my practice was about.
Right. So are you self-taught or did you have a drum tutor?
I had a drum tutor, but we ended up talking about drums for the whole class. And he didn't teach me. He had just bought a new drums. He was a drum teacher and he also bought a drum shop at the time.
Okay.
And all day we just talk about drum.
Yeah.
In fact, he gave me my first free kit.
Wow.
I've never actually paid for a drum kit.
Hold on, what?
Yeah.
Bless me, brother. Bless me, brother.
I'm a bless you. I know that. But yeah, from school, Mr. Richardson, Tony Richardson, maybe. Yeah, he had a drum shop in Wolverhampton. I'm from Birmingham. He used to teach at my school in Dartmouth. And we just used to talk about drums for the whole class. And he saw that I was quite influential in the gospel scene at the time, even at being such a young age. And he gave me a Canon kit.
Oh, they've been around that long.
Canon drums.
No, you know what? I'm mixing up with something else.
Canopus. No.
Yeah, I'm mixing it up. I'm like, oh,
No. Canopus is way more advanced.
Yeah.
It's a small red Canon kit.
Oh,
That was my first kit. I did convention with that kit and got cussed, but still.
wow.
Shout outs to Pablo. Not putting that through my PA.
Yeah. No, he's harsh. But he knows what he's talking about, though.
Bro,
Within reason.
he's a great engineer.
Yeah, amazing.
I've been blessed to work with some great people, man. Really, on my career, I really have.
I was going to ask, what's been the most memorable moment that you've had in your career?
Man,
Give us some. You've got time.
too many. I guess the first big TV, and the lead up to that whole moment, it was with Damage.
Yes.
5-night stands, MTV 5-night stands. And check this. So I'm still pretty young. I don't remember my exact age, but I was depping Andrew Small. It was Jerry Brown's gig, and Nicky Brown was MD, and Velroy was on bass. That's 4 great. I felt so much pressure, bro.
Of course.
I felt a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, yeah.
And in rehearsal, it was just like a social. We didn't really rehearse. The MD was just chatting, yeah. I mean, great MD, but it was just like, me and Thora ended up then the set in my car. Pretty much.
So wow.
And then, okay, bam, back inside. And then the boys will turn up. Okay, the boys need the room. Okay, back in the car. So that was a moment that I will never forget. That whole build of that rehearsal and the actual gig. Emma Bunton from the Spice Girls.
Yes.
She joined us for a song. Yeah, what a moment. So early in my career, you know?
Yeah.
And that was a gig that got me the gigs. After that, I got the Blue gig through Velroy, and then it went crazy.
As you can see, I have a nice drum t-shirt, but not only that, I have more. So if you check out all the jumpers, t-shirts, hats, you can go onto my website, www.kingsimages.co.uk, and you can get a discount. All you have to do is put EveryTing Irie and you can get a discount. So walk in love, walk in grace, walk in fashion. Peace. Share another memorable moment.
I would say probably my biggest gig. It was playing in front of 150,000 people in Reggio Emilia, Italy. And at the time, so it was for an earthquake that happened in Italy, and they had all the biggest Italian artists there. And at the time I was playing for 2 of them. I was playing for 2 of them. So, yeah, I had to have my hair tied back with a white shirt for Tiziano. And then I had my hair out with a black shirt, or the opposite way around shirt, for Giovanotti. And yeah, it was crazy.
Did they ask you to do that?
No, but that I know that, you know, some kind of difference between, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So that was crazy. Yeah, 150,000 people. It's like you just see heads. You don't see anything else but heads. Yeah, it was amazing.
You nervous? Excited?
Yeah, I mean, a bit of all. You know, it was a memorable moment. I realized that exciting to get on the stage and to perform. But yeah, it was a great time. A great time.
That's good. So 2 artists on the same stage.
Same stage, same day. Yeah, I've been fortunate to do that a couple of times where it's worked out that, you know, I can do both.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us more about the Italian artists that you work with.
Yeah, I mean, the Italian scene has been a real blessing for me. Maybe over 18 years I've been working in that scene now. Maybe 15 years. Yeah. Started out with a great artist, Giovanotti. Shoutouts to Miles Johnson. I don't even know if you know Miles Johnson.
Did he used to play for Pink?
Exactly.
Yes.
The big muscly guy played with
Yeah.
Bad man.
Yeah.
So he's living out in Italy now, and there's a lot of those big Italian gigs. And he was, you know, instrumental in getting me on the Giovanotti gig. And yeah, Lara Pausini, Tiziano. I mean, these are, no one in the UK really knows, but these are big gigs. You know, for example, I mentioned that I did Tiziano Ferro. After I did it, it was Aaron Spears. You know, so, you know, and before I did it, it was Gary Novak. You know, so these are, you know, big heavyweight gigs. The gig I'm on now, Lara Pausini, when she was changing her drummer before was Carlos Hercules, you know, from the UK. Yes. Yeah. Big heavyweight drummer, you know, played for George Michael, you know.
Yeah, legend.
Another, you know, and when choosing the new drummer it was between me and another heavyweight American, you know, so I feel very privileged to be on stage, you know, still on the big stages, and with great artists, great musicians. And it takes me away from my peers. You know, I'm not fighting for the same gigs, and you know, there's that as well. And culturally, it's good for me, spiritually, the soul. You know, just seeing how different, diverse places are, and actually being there, not just going there for a gig and going out the next day. You know, being there for a while. I can say I know Italy now. You know.
Did you live out there?
Would I live out there? I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Wow.
I moved my family out there and lived out there for a while. So yeah, I did.
So you've worked with a lot of American artists and you've worked with a lot of British artists as well.
Yeah.
What's been the difference between working with British artists and American artists?
Personalities, the level of passion. So, for example, you know, working with Kelly Rowland was a great experience. And we had a day before she came, and then she came in. She kind of burst in the room. Who are you? I'm Gareth. Okay, Gareth. I don't want to hear the record. I want to hear you. I want to hear you. I don't want to hear the CD. I want to hear you. Yes, ma'am. Like no
pressure.
No, you know what I mean? No British artists ain't. You know, they'll be tricky and funny. There's like a different humor and a different way of doing things in Britain. Like, for example, Lily Allen.
Yeah.
When I first did my audition, I did the audition and she's like, oh, you sound great. The only thing is you're going to have to cut your locks. I was like, okay, thanks very much for having me. She's like, no, I was only joking.
Oh my gosh. Yo.
So yeah, like English humor, American passion, like different ways of approaching, I think. That's what I would say.
Because you know what, I find that, and from stories that I've heard, is that with American artists, they really value the musicians. They feel that we're a family, we're a team, you know what I mean? Whereas some artists in the UK, it's not really like that. It's just, yeah, we sing, everyone go home. Where in America, it's like everyone's like a team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we're working on this together, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've had that with British as well. I can't deny it. I've had that whole family feeling of being on tour and, you know, we're a family with British artists as well. But yeah, with American artists, it's probably on stage more prominent. Like working with Jasmine Sullivan.
What was that like?
It was amazing. It was pressure. It was her American drummer was
Skeeter, was it Skeeter?
my bro. My bro. When they sent over the songs, bro, I was like, wow, he sounds amazing.
Yeah, and he was young at that time as well.
Bro, he was fire. And so, you know, but, you know, I did it in my way. In my song way, I listened to the Jasmine's vocal. I, you know, played it at a great band. Octave was MDing, Emily Maillard, Ben Jones on guitar. And yeah, it was great fun. I'll never forget. So we rehearsed the whole day before she came. And all these arrangements, and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And like one time, let's take a break. Like, is there actually 4 bars where it's straight? Like,
oh, because, you know, doing the most.
Yeah, bro, we were doing the most. It's Jasmine Sullivan from America. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Anyway, we stripped it back to what it should have been. And she flew in with her mum. Her mum was managing it then. I don't know if she still is. And Jasmine was tired. And she literally had the mic in between her fingers, like singing like this. Bro, tone, the dynamic, beautiful. It was a beautiful experience.
One of my favourites.
Yeah, and we did some cool gigs, Taratata, not Winnie Scott's, Jazz Cafe.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to be more versatile? What advice or tips would you give to someone? I mean, you play a lot of genres, and you know, you play a lot of genres, you play different type of music. Yeah, what advice would you give to like an up-and-coming drummer who wants to...
Listen to the music, man. Get into it. Whatever you listen to, you will spit out, you will play, you will naturally be in your body. Listen to the music. Don't be afraid to listen to country.
I love country.
Ain't nothing wrong with some country. They got some great snare sounds, some great grooves. Just listen to it and listen to the grooves will come easy. It's the knowledge of the feels. It won't be a chop. It might just but that's enough. Yeah. Don't feel like you have to do any more.
Because you know what? The reason why I was saying that is because I come from a church background. And of course in gospel there's, you know, a gospel version of rock, there's a gospel version of Latin, there's a gospel version of, you know what I mean, of so much different genres of music. And it was only till I was doing drum lessons and my drum tutor, he put me onto, you know, Sergio Mendes?
Yeah. That's real.
That absolutely floored me. I was like,
yeah.
that's how you play hand percussion. You know what I mean? Because in my head, I'm thinking like, I'm not sure if you know Martha Manuzzi, Glorious. I will create it. Yeah. It's got a Latin feel. So obviously in my head, it's like, yeah, that's how I can play that. Sound. You know what I mean? Because all I was exposed to was gospel. You know what I mean? You know what? Another genre of music I was exposed to from a young age was smooth jazz. That was a big smooth jazz head.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I had this CD player and you're just playing the Ben Tankard, George Duke, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I had to put my ear to the CD player and try and play it on, you know what I mean? So, and obviously I didn't like it at that time because I was like, nice as old people music, you know what I mean? But now it's like,
you appreciate it a bit more.
I appreciate it more and you can kind of hear it in my playing. So my question is, if you had to pick one genre to play for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Gospel music, man. Gospel music. The feeling, the spirit, the emotion, the dynamic, the excellence.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, the different genres within gospel music.
Of course.
You got gospel Latin, you got gospel praise and worship, traditional, praise and worship more urban. You've got gospel rap, you got...
Yeah, it's a lot.
Gospel music, man. Yeah. Gospel music.
I'm going to be honest, I might get in trouble, yeah? But I know you was with, is it Ecclesia? Was you playing for Ecclesia? What gospel group was you in?
Back in the day?
Yeah, there was one I saw you play at Bethel convention. Who was that with?
Oh, Chris Brooks and Company.
Company,
wow.
The Company. I can't lie, yeah?
Chris Brooks and the Company.
That era of gospel has got to be my favourite, you know?
Oh, so I had quite a big hand in that album. Myself, shout out to Steve Octave.
Yes.
Shout out to Emlyn Maynard, and Chris Brooks and the whole company. It was a great time. Yeah. A real great time of gospel music, of excellence. Same things we're talking about.
It was, yeah, because at that time when I was growing up, a lot of the people that are on the scene now, they were doing gospel, you know what I mean? So I remember seeing Jin doing ABC and Dexter as well.
Yeah.
You obviously had Matthew Allen, Dexter was doing that, and Tones. Yeah. It's like everywhere. You've seen the Company, Ecclesia. I remember seeing Jamil play. Was it Ecclesia or was it the Company? I don't know which one.
Probably all of them.
Probably all of them.
But everyone was kind of doing this at that time.
I remember just seeing him play and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. And then obviously seeing what all you guys are doing now, it's like, I mean, on one point everyone was doing gospel. At that time, gospel was just, in the UK, it was popping off.
So on that album, the Company, Chris Brooks and the Company, is a track that Ginger's on. That boy's been bad from morning, Ginger. From morning. Just woke up bad.
Just absolutely cold. And you know what other album as well? And I think that had two or three drummers in it. It's Clinton Jordan's album.
Yeah.
It had Josh McKenzie, Junior Curtin. Oh my God.
Josh McKenzie, like, what a vibe. Just watching him play is just like, I would have played drums too.
We have so much gems here. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Man.
Absolutely ridiculous, man. But what a time. So you say it would be gospel. That makes sense.
It would be gospel. There's so many genres within gospel, but even if it's traditional gospel as we know,
yeah,
come on now.
Man, just the feel. Because you know what? After a while, doing the kind of, I'm going to get in trouble.
Be careful, man.
So you just on the toms and stuff all the time. It's just like I can get a little bit jarring, man. I just want to play that snare and hi-hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just groove. You know what I mean? It's not all the time doing toms. You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes me and my sister used to clash, because my sister was a praise and worship leader, and she would like all them songs where you're on the toms, and I was like, nah, man, I want to put a groove to it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just want to make it a bit more hip where I can, you know what I mean? Do that 4 on the floor and that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just go for it. So yeah, no, it's changed a lot, man. But
it has changed
that
a lot.
time, when you were saying with that, the company, Cleaser, Clinton Jordan, for me, this is just me, that was the best time in UK gospel.
It was a great.
For me, anyway, musically. And the scene where you guys were into what you're doing now.
Also, Raymond and Co.
Raymond and Co.
Bro, them man.
I still listen.
Jesus. Marlos, Gareth Fuller, Julian. Them man used to rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
Lindsay Campbell was doing a lot.
Lindsay Campbell. That I was trying to remember the name. I was like, who's the other producer? And he plays bass as well. Listen.
I've been working with Lindsay because he's from Birmingham.
Okay.
I've been knowing and working with Lindsay for years. In fact, the very first time Hezekiah Walker came to the UK, they came to my local church, Aberdeen Street, the very first time.
How was there a Hezekiah Walker concert? This was in Wembley.
Right now,
Obviously,
this is years before. And my cousin, Genevieve Daly, we supported Hezekiah. Yes. He was on drums at the time. Gerald had done the album, but it was his cousin on drums.
I can't remember.
Jeff
Jeff
Leslie.
Kind of guy.
Jeff Leslie, maybe.
Yeah.
Jeff Leslie. And bro, them like smack. But anyway, the story goes, we had Talkbox in our set. Lindsay's the producer, and we had the Talkbox. From then. Now, Lindsay is way ahead of his time. In our set, we had Talkbox. Next album, Hezekiah had 99.
Just saying. Just putting it out there. Just let them know.
Just letting them know. Yeah.
You're ahead of the game.
Bro, I mean,
There's a lot of people, early 90s.
Like I said in the beginning, I've been around some really talented people, really favored, gifted people.
Yeah.
And Lindsay's one of them, man. He just brings it. He's just worked on Donovan's church, Donovan Hepburn, his local church. They just released an album. Lindsay's got a couple of tracks on there too. So he's still doing his thing, man.
I need to listen to it. Is it out yet?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
I need to find it because it's good to listen.
Yeah.
I love his stuff. Right. Going into a question now, which could be a bit of a touchy subject.
Tell me.
Right. So I want to talk about finances. Obviously, you've been in this game a while, and there's a lot of people that look up to you. And we hear a lot of advice. Oh, pay the pocket, get your gear. And people don't talk about, the savings and talking about your finances. So somebody who's been in the game for a while, what advice would you give to musicians about managing your finances as a musician?
Wow. So
it's not talked about. And I feel that you are the right person because you've been around for
that's
people look up to you.
That's a great question. I mean, there's the basics, save. But what does that even mean?
Yeah, what does it look like?
Because you've always got something to pay for. There's always, some of us have families as well,
of course,
which, take money and rent and mortgage and car payment and this and that. So I would maybe look at your wages a percentage. What percentage is going to here? What percentage is going to here? What percentage can I put there? And just try and stick to it. Just try and stick to it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it'll be better for you in the future. If you don't, and you kind of splash, that snare looks good, boy. Oh, I've got a little deal on it still. And you be careful. Be careful.
because I nearly got caught with my taxes. I got excited. And
Bro.
yeah, and another friend as well who we know. Obviously, you know, Young's doing all these gigs, and then tax.
Pay attention
you
to
know
all
what I
that,
mean?
man. Pay
But
attention.
it's not talked about.
Whoa.
You know, we talk about it's put in your pocket, bro. No one's talking about the taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people being caught out by that, but
Well,
it's just not talked about.
Well, having a good accountant is
Of
worth
course.
it.
Yeah.
Is worth it. Even if you feel like I'm not doing that level of gig yet, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
It's the mindset, you know, and a good accountant will, you know, compensate for if you're doing smaller gigs, bigger gigs, but they will sort you out. Yeah. They will look after you.
When you're young, you're not even thinking about that. You're just thinking like, okay, how can I get this gig, the gear? But that's the last thing that comes to people's head. But it's important, get an accountant and sort out your taxes and your finances.
I mean,
you don't want to get caught.
Exactly. Even with the gear, you can write that back. You can keep buying gear, but if you've got someone who knows what they're talking about and knows how to deal with that side, you're okay. You're okay.
Well, I've got a question for you.
Tell me.
So, in the eyes of Gareth Brown, what is a professional musician? Because that word gets thrown around loosely, but for you, what is a professional musician? What would you say is a professional musician?
Somebody who respects the professionality of the game. So
Yeah.
whether that's a small thing like turning up on time,
Yeah.
whether that's a big thing. I mean, I say it's a small thing, but for some people it's a big thing. You know, time could be an issue for our colour sometimes. I don't know why. If you know it is, just set your alarm an hour earlier. Arrive there an hour earlier and chill in your car. Listen to the music and listen.
Be productive. Bring your laptop if you need to.
Whatever you got to do. But yeah, learning the music, respecting the music, respecting the MD's decisions, respecting the tour bus rules. Like, just be professional. Be no excuse for anybody to have anything to say negative about your whole situation, be it your sound, your playing, your approach, your smell, your attitude, hygiene, you know, the whole thing. You want to be on top.
Of course, of course.
So,
What's been the most challenging thing in your career? Was there like a moment or a gig that was like, yo, this is a challenge? And how did you pull through?
Challenging gigs. I mean, homework. I did some recordings that were not necessarily in 4/4, some odd time stuff. And I wasn't necessarily used to that as a gospel musician. But, you know, you just put the time in. Challenging situations.
Like a gig or a tour or a session?
There was a challenging situation, maybe in a different angle. So on the Lily Allen tour, I was the drummer, doing great. And then halfway through the tour, she fired the MD. And she's like, right, Gareth, you're MD now.
Pressure.
Yeah. But I was ready. I was ready for it. But yeah, that was also challenging with the guy who was the MD, because he was my friend. And that dynamic, you know? But it's fine. I mean, if I was to tell the whole story, that song, New York, Concrete Jungle. Yeah, he produced that. Yeah. He's like, no, don't worry about it, Gareth. This whole live music thing, I want to get into more production anyway. About a year later, that was on the radio.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is going to be, do you prefer playing live or playing in the studio? I know you do both.
I prefer playing live, which is where most of my energy's gone.
Yeah.
The smart drummer might do more of a mix because you get the energy from the stage, but then you'll get your royalties from the studio. But I have to go with my heart is. And I'm raising money for the family well enough to do, but I do prefer playing live.
How have you been able to stay relevant? Because you've been doing this before social media. and obviously you're still doing it now. How have you been able to stay relevant? Was it challenging in terms of adapting to how things are? Because when I'm seeing some of that, the blue stuff, I don't remember seeing, I might be wrong, or they might, or at that time anyway, you didn't see SPD pads. It was kit. You know what I mean? And now, when you see like pop gigs, you're seeing the SPD pad, you're seeing the electronics. So was it easy to adapt? Was it challenging to adapt to how things are now compared to how it was like early 2000s, late 90s?
For me, no, because I had a technical brain in that way anyway. So you might not have saw, but I had a whole rack system on Blue with, I think it was like a Akai S5000 linked to a Alesis DM5, and then pads around the kit. And so all the whole sample game for me, the SPD made it easier. It was just in one machine. Whereas before I'd have to have my laptop going into the Akai, make sure it's in the right MIDI note with the Alesis, make sure my pads are, it was a long thing before. So this generation,
You've been doing electronics for a while then.
yeah. And also programming before, back in like ESA days, which was the first arena tour I did.
Yeah.
The programming was all off samples, not off a hard drive, not even off a laptop. It was off samples. So they'd chop up the samples from the album, from the tape machine, put them in the sampler, have to play them in individually. Yeah, bro. I was one of the first MDs and moved it onto hard drives with I don't even remember I think I had some Tascam hard drives back then. Shoutouts to Ozzy, techs like Ozzy. But yeah, so I've been coming a long way with the technical side of that. So with the SPDs and the V drums now, great. This easy. It's quite easy to program. The sounds are good. The standard sounds are good. Let alone when you put your own sounds in there.
Yeah. Wow. Because I was gonna ask. Obviously, you've been doing it a long time, and obviously you're still in the game now. Is there anything that you would change in the music game now? That you prefer how it maybe was back in the day, or
Yeah, I think.
what things would you change?
I mean, there's a lot of emphasis on social media, and not necessarily on players out there doing the groundwork. If you're a groundwork player, but not really in the matrix of social media, you can get lost, and which I think is a big shame, because there's some great players out there that don't necessarily want to be on social media so much, that get forgotten.
What drum companies do you currently use?
Okay, so I'm currently using Italian brands. So I'm using Refip cymbals.
Yeah.
They sound great.
They sounded good. When I listened to the Craig David show and I saw you with them, they sound great.
They sound great.
Cut through nice.
They're beautiful cymbals. Smaller company, so I can get, I can speak, and we've been working on some custom stuff as well. One of the splashes I was using was a custom splash.
Okay.
Which is really cool. So I like that element,
Of course.
So UFIP cymbals.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Alberto. And I'm playing Tamburo drums.
Yes.
So Tamburo drums, another Italian company. And yeah, they made me this custom kit. Super shallow toms. So all the rack toms are by 4.8. So 8 by 4.8, 10 by 4.8. 4.8. So just shy of 5, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, it sings. It's light, it looks good. And they're a company that have won Best Innovative Drum Company at NAMM Show for 3 years running. Yeah, so yeah. So they're doing their thing, man. They're a smaller company, but they're doing their thing, and they're
even bigger than the name brand. That 3
years running, they won that award.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and their drums sound great.
Well, your kit sounds very amazing. I can't even lie. Your
Thank
kit sounds nice.
Thank
It does.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to Alex and Proel. Proel's a big company, but yeah, shout out to Alex. Alex is my dude. He's been hooking me up, going back and forth, emails, WhatsApps.
Yeah.
Just getting the correct kit, you know.
Of course.
Now, I'm in a fortunate position. I do quite a lot of work in Italy, so I have my kit in Italy sitting there for when I need it, and I have my main kit here in the UK when I need it.
What sticks do you play?
So I play another Italian company called Drum Art. And Drum Art, they make artisan snare drums and sticks. And about 5 years ago, I was privileged enough to design my own sticks.
Oh, you got custom sticks?
So yeah, I play my own sticks.
Yeah.
So yeah, and once you get used to the perfect stick, your perfect stick, it's so hard to play anything else.
Yeah.
You know, the weight, the design, the length. You know, with my stick, I feel like, because they're quite a long stick, so I can get that real heavy rock thing. But then if I want something lighter, I can just slip up and have something a bit more light, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm playing my custom sticks. I'm playing tambura drums and hardware, UFIP cymbals, and rolling triggers.
Rolling triggers. Oh,
Rolling triggers, man. Yeah. Rolling are still the dons.
I play Yamaha, but it's cool.
No, I will give Yamaha the feel of the pads is nice.
Yeah. It's a personal preference, though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah. And Remo skins from Daydot. Remo from Daydot. That's one company that's been over 20 odd years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You've got a good relationship with them.
Good relationship with Remo. They're just the best at what they do.
Yeah.
You know, in my opinion. So yeah, that's me. They've been looking after me. Like I said, I've just come off this tour. It's been amazing. The support. I really appreciate all of the guys making Gareth Brown sound happen.
Yeah, of course. And that's what it's about. It's about the support as well. You know what I mean? Because you can get the endorsement, but if you don't get the support, then what's the point of having the endorsement? You know what I mean?
Well, this is part reason why I stepped down from some of the bigger companies, because I mean, one, I like an underdog anyway, but two, you can get boutique, you can get specific. I mean, you'd have to wait, depending on who you are, but getting a kit specifically made, 8 by 8, 4.8, a snare by 8 by 8.8. Like, to get those with the bigger companies, it takes so much longer to do and email back and forth and this boss and that boss. And so I'm finding that with the companies I'm with, things can happen quickly and I can still have a great sound on stage and feel comfortable with what I'm playing.
What's been one advice that has helped you through your music career?
Good question. I had a piece of advice: just be yourself. Always just be yourself. And I had that quite early on before I got any, named artist tours. And so, I'm the same me from back then.
Yeah.
To now. I feel, maybe my friends will tell me something different. It's so bad, but I feel like I try and remain to be the same person throughout what I'm doing.
What drummers are you looking at now? Who are some of your favourite drummers?
Man, everybody locally. I mean, Dexter's, he's doing his thing right now, right?
Budster.
Gee, that new kit as well. The green and gold. Green is my color as well.
Oh, it's your favourite colour?
Oh, it's my favorite color. So that new joint is lit.
Gold.
But yeah, we cannot forget tones. What?
One of my favourites, man. It's my guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, like Smiley.
Of course.
Man, Smiley's doing his thing right now. I'm so happy and so proud of him, man. What a character, what a drummer, what a personality. Who else is out there doing their thing locally? I saw Mikael the other day. Yes. Oh, nice. The locals, Jerry,
Oh yeah.
Josh, still a hero to watch and listen to. What a feel. Julian Brown, Julian Chambers, all my heroes, man, all my counterparts, but still heroes. Donovan Hepburn, and then my two main guys forever have been Brian Fraser Moore and Teddy Campbell. They've been my two guys for forever. I'm blessed and lucky enough to have them as friends now.
Yeah.
I can message and call and get advice. Brian's been big brother in terms of advice and what I need.
He's a professional drummer. He's
telling the truth about how things are, telling the truth about how things should be. So shout out to BFM.
Yes.
And shout out to Teddy Campbell.
Yeah. Love that player.
Man, great guys, great players.
Yeah, that's good, man. So what projects are you working on? Are you working on anything or?
So I just finished, I do quite a lot of work in Italy.
Yes.
I don't know if some of your followers might know. So I've just finished like a 2-year tour with this Italian artist called Laura Pausini.
Say that again?
Laura Pausini.
Laura Pausini. Oh.
Laura Pausini, if it's in English. But yeah.
Laura.
Which was amazing. Amazing band, amazing situation. Just to give you a little insight, the first gig of the tour, so she was celebrating 30 years in the music industry, and
Legend.
Basically she wanted to do 3 shows within 24 hours. But not just any 3 shows within 24 hours. We're talking New York, Madrid, Milan.
Hold on, say that again. New York,
Madrid, Milan. So she's a international artist, sings in Italian, Spanish, English, Portuguese, and she wanted to do this challenge
in 24 hours.
Within 24 hours. So how it went is,
I'm hearing this. Go on, please.
So how it went was we the first show in New York was at 6 p.m, which is 12 o'clock midnight Milan time. And we were basically chasing the sun. So we did the gig in New York, jumped on the flight, got off in Madrid, straight to the venue, did sound check, did the show, back on the flight, over to Milan, police escort to the venue, no sound check because we ran out of time, straight on stage, did the show. Then after the show, I went outside, I was like, come on, yesterday I was in New York. This afternoon, I was in Madrid. And now I'm in Milan. Like, wow.
Did you have a private jet or something?
Yeah, she tried.
I was about to say, I'm like, no way. No easy to run this. I'm about to say.
Even with the priority queue, couldn't have done it on EasyJet. No. No, we tried.
Mercy.
We tried, yeah.
Wow. And you done it?
Well, we pulled it off.
I've never, ever heard anyone do that.
I think it's a record. I think Phil Collins, I think he did something on the, what was the big concert that they do? Live Aid. I think he did the New York and English one on the same day on Concord. I think, but that's just 2 cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did 3. We did 3. So shout out to Lara and her team, man.
That's big. that's amazing. All right.
Yeah, so I've just finished that.
Yeah.
And then I've got my own band.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I've got my own band, Jungle Green. I told you green was my favorite color.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been sitting dormant for a few years, to be honest. Through various reasons, but it's back. It's been released this year. And yeah, it's coming back.
Look out for that. What's your social media? Might as well.
I mean, I don't have one personally.
Oh, for the band?
For the band, Jungle Green Music.
Jungle Green Music.
Man, if your followers would bless me to follow, that'd be great.
Yeah. What kind of music is this?
So being a session musician, I've worked in so many different genres and stuff.
Yeah.
And for my own music, I wanted to combine it, but with reggae. So it's basically The drums and bass, if you look at that at the bottom end, is reggae, one drop or steppers or whatever the song is. And then up top, it's either fusion jazz or some are more kind of soul kind of, but all with reggae underneath. So it's an interesting fusion of reggae, jazz, soul, gospel, lots of harmony, lots of, I've had some amazing artists to feature on the album. Vula Malinga, she's on the album. Frank McComb.
Frank McComb, yeah.
Frank McComb blessed me on the album. Natalie from Floetry, she blessed me on the album, yeah.
Why?
I've got, oh my goodness, why are the names looking right now? Soprano saxophone player from America. Bad man. Over with Luke literally the other day. Anyway, he's featuring on the album. So yeah, I've been really blessed and some great musicians, some of my friends. So yeah, look out for Jungle Green, man.
Jungle Green
music.
I want to listen to that.
Yeah. I'll play some stuff after.
Please. Yeah. Exclusive. Yeah, man. So we've come to a special segment of the show. All right.
Okay.
So I want you to tell me or name me 5 CDs or DVDs. 1 or 2 has to be drum related. Yeah, that has greatly impacted your life.
Okay. As we're on a drum podcast, I will try and keep it drum focused for sure. Usher Live, the first one. Brian Fraser Moore on. I don't know if it's a CD. I don't know if it's a CD.
Because I know I've seen a DVD with Mike Clemens and obviously Aaron Space.
Okay, no, before that.
It was
Brian Fraser Moore.
My friend Kieran showed me.
My goodness, that is a big influence.
Yeah.
Big influence. Okay, another one would be Mary J Live. Is it Mary J the Tour? With
that with Gerald?
No, with Mike Clements.
I know he played.
I don't know if it's a DVD or again just a CD.
Yeah.
The Dennis Chambers DVD. Come on now. Him and Gary Granger. Come on now.
Let me not go there, man.
Dave Weckl DVD. With the open-handed and the what?
I was listening to his album the other day.
And the splash and the what? And then a 5th one, Vinny's record. I don't know if you remember Vinny's record. So I believe he's only released one.
Yes.
Years back.
Yeah.
Bro, what he does with timing.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And his splash work again. Him and Weckl for splash work. Bro, I just remembered on my album, it's Najee.
I was going to say, is it Najee? I was going to say that. Yeah.
Bro, he blessed me on the track and yeah, he really did do his thing on that track. So yeah, track called Moonrise. So Najee, Jungle Green coming. But yeah, back to what you're saying. Yeah, those 5. Those 5.
All right. So we're moving on to another segment. And guys, this is just a game. It's just a game. So please do not be offended.
Oh, Lord.
It's just a game. All right, Gareth.
Tell me.
I've got a list of artists, yeah? And the only rule to the game is you have to name a UK drummer that you would put on this gig.
Ah, cool.
Now, if the artist or the drummer just so happens to be from the UK and you want to keep them on, that's absolutely fine. Only rule to this game, it has to be a UK drummer.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
So I've got artists from your past and present, yeah?
From mine?
No, it's a list of just a range of different artists, yeah?
Okay.
You have to pick a UK drummer,
Okay.
yeah? I'm going to do 5. All right. So what UK drummer would you put for Maverick City? He's got the modern day gospel feel for Maverick City.
I think it'll be one of the younger guys, isn't it? Well, maybe I don't know. You haven't yet. Oh, I tell you who, Jaden Jones. Jaden Jones. Get to know. Yeah, this guy is solid. He's depped a lot of gigs for me. Does the whole professional thing, turns up on time, learns material, and got chops. It's great, presents himself well. So yeah, I would give Jaden the opportunity on that gig.
Good. That's a good shout. Destiny's Child. What UK drummer played for Destiny's Child?
I would like to hear Tones on the Destiny's Child. I would like to hear Tones. Can you imagine Tones on?
Oh, jumping. That would lick.
No. I would like to hear Tones on Destiny's Child, I think. Yeah. I'll stick with my answer, yeah.
All right. Earth, Wind and Fire.
Ooh.
What UK drummer?
Me, 100%. Bro, I've seen Earth and Fire live 5 times.
You seen them 5 times?
Listen, I love that band. I seen them with Sonny Emery. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I saw them with Gordon Campbell. I saw them with the gentleman doing it now. Yeah. Me.
Yeah.
I'll put myself
That's a good answer. Why not?
I'll put myself forward for that one. Why not?
Why not? John Mayer.
Oh, that would be Isaac. That would be Isaac all day. Isaac's got that Steve Jordan thing down.
Yeah. That pocket.
Yeah. Isaac's pocket is nice.
All right.
Isaac sits on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. All right, one more. Beanie Man. What UK drummer?
Simple.
Beanie Man.
CS.
Yeah. I think he done it. Didn't he?
Has it done it? Maybe.
Yeah, I think he done it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Bro, don't rap with CS, you know. And not just reggae. Bro, this dude can play.
Oh, yeah. That's
He
a
can play,
good
bro.
choice.
I mean, there's all the cats. Matty Brown is out there doing his thing.
Yeah.
It's a game, but Matty Brown could have done any of those gigs. Not even Matty Brown on Destiny's Child, you know?
Anything.
There's cats out there, and I don't want to offend anybody, but those are the names that came to me straight away. Those are the names.
Short list. Gareth Brown. It doesn't matter. But no, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on this podcast.
Pleasure.
Where can people follow you again? So you've got Jungle Green Music, and myself is kind of taking an hiatus from the Matrix at the moment. Yeah. But Jungle Green Music, you'll find me there. And if people start following, I'll start posting some stuff about myself as well. Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for
Blessings
coming.
to you, man. All the best with your cast. Blessings to your viewers and your listeners. Thank you so much for having me.
Worries, man. Appreciate it. So guys, remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace and love.